Hi everyone and welcome to Quantum Lucid. Today we are going to talk about multiversal divergence. I think it's a very important concept to understand. If you are going to believe in the multiverse, this will help you make sense of versions of you and others. A lot of people get confused when it comes to other people manifesting, getting what they want from others in relation to them, versions of others, free will of others. And I find that people get stuck because there's no real explanation, there's no real guidance, there's just words that are thrown around, such as manifest a version of them that matches your will, etc., etc., etc. So let me get a few things very clear. If you're going to look at multiversal divergence, you're going to have to understand it from the very basics, from the very foundational concept. What is divergence? The concept of divergence is you, this body named you, who is XYZ specific, personality specific person, you take a decision. You make a right turn. All the other possibilities of the straight, the left turn, any other decision, any other direction, those are also in existence. So you didn't create a right turn, you just chose it. Instead of choosing all the other possibilities of the left turn, the straight, then do you understand? So get that picture in your mind. You chose a right turn, and therefore your body, your singularly focused you, focused in on that right turn, and now you're living that physical experience experientially. But that does not mean the straight direction doesn't exist. The you who took the straight direction doesn't exist. It does not mean that the you who took the left direction doesn't exist, and so on and so forth. Therefore, it means that there is a you who took the straight direction. There's also a you who took the left direction and all the other directions. Those yous are called versions of you. They are still you. They are still your name. They are just a different version, a slightly, yet almost alike, but different. Because the decision that they took is slightly different. Those yous have to exist, and they do exist, but they are unseen. They are invisible, non-visible. Just because something or someone is non-visible or unseen doesn't mean that it or them does not exist. That cannot be. All things must exist. Creation is finished, unseen or not. That is why any desire that you have is a pre-given yes. You do not need permission to proceed. That is why it is limitless, infinite, and all things are possible. Okay, so say you took the right turn. You are now experiencing the version of you in real life, in real time, in cubic matter form, the version of you who took the right turn. But now you wish and desire that you didn't take the right turn, that instead you went straight. This is just an example, so hear me out. You are now desiring to be the version of you who went straight. But you've already taken the right turn. Whatever needed to occur, occurred in that right turn. It's played out. It cannot be erased. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be eliminated. It's been done. However, you wish to experience the lifeline or the timeline or the physical, singular, physical life experience of the version of you who took the straight direction. But you've already played out in the right direction. And whatever had to happen, happened. You're already on that timeline. So what do? This is going to be the basis of your foundation and understanding, and it's going to help you understand what's going on. Alright, so you desire to be the version of you who took the straight direction. That begins with a decision. That's it. Alright, I am now the version of me who took the straight direction. And you see the end scene on that. The straight direction meant you reached your destination on time, you reached the correct destination, and you met your celebrity who was walking in that direction, and you had a chat. Whatever. Let's just say that's why you desire the straight direction. It doesn't matter. But now you're going to be the version of you who's taken the straight direction. You've decided you're it. Not only going to be, you already are the version of you who took the straight direction. But you also played the role of the version of you who took the right direction. But right now, you are no longer that person. You are dropping and disrobing that version of you, so to speak. You only are the version who took the straight direction. But then when you had taken the right direction, a whole bunch of things occurred. Those occurrences cannot be undone. They've occurred. So what do? In order to experience only the straight direction, you focus on the end scene or the end frame of that straight direction. That's the only way. But then all the things that occurred when you took that right direction are on social media. They're on the internet. They're in the news. Or whatever. They're in your face. There's parking tickets involved or whatever. There's speeding tickets involved. There's documentation. There's legal paperwork. Everything is evident that you took the right direction. And it's a fact. It's established 3D fact. And it's all circumstantial. And it's huge and it's in your face. So, what do? Nothing. You let it play out. Fine. Pay those tickets. Do what you have to. Doesn't matter. Consequences or whatever. Get stuff done. If you need to. If you don't. Doesn't matter. But what matters is where your attention is at this moment. Your attention is on the version of you who took the straight direction. Okay? And that's going to play out. So this is what it might appear like. It might appear like nothing changes. It might appear that you failed. It might appear that you don't know manifestation or that it doesn't work. Why? Because The right direction circumstances are still there. They're in your face. They're playing out. All of those things. While you're still making sure your attention is on the NC of the straight direction. While all this is happening, you're going to only have to know that you took the straight direction. That the occurrences that you identify with are the occurrences of the straight direction. And that's a fact, right? Because everything already exists. So you took the straight direction. Everything is fine. But what happens with the other decision that played out? Sooner or later, you're going to find that whether the established facts remain on the internet or not, they are behaving as if they're impotent, as if they are neutralized, as if they have no effect, as if it's pixels and algorithms. Your parking tickets or your speeding tickets may be revoked or may just no longer exist. They go away. As if you never got them. You don't have to do anything to make them go away. They certainly do. Why? Because you're identifying as a person who took the straight direction only with intention, meaning that you did not get any parking tickets, you did not get any speeding tickets, there were no established 3D news or facts surrounding that straight direction. You are that version. You only identify with that. Whatever's happening with the you, the version of you who took the right direction, is no longer your business. Literally. So treat it as if it's now an unseen decision. Remember while we were talking about decisions, your right direction was the one that became seen while everything else remained unseen? Now the only thing that you see is the straight direction, you. Everything else, including the right direction and its happenings, become unseen, become potential. They still exist. They have to exist. You can't take away anything from infinity, nor can you add anything to infinity. So they still exist. But they're no longer going to play in your life experience. You're not going to identify with that. That's how you make miracles happen. And how do you become that? Through awareness, right? Like you become aware of being the version of you who has taken the right direction. That awareness is created by a filter of beliefs and your truths. And your belief and your truth for something like this can be very simple as, I'm remembering it wrong. I only took the straight direction that day. It can be that it's impossible. The right direction, the road was closed for a few hours that day when I was driving, so I could not have taken the right direction. Whatever it is, you create a filter of awareness, of beliefs, of truths. That's your awareness. The stronger and the more you make that awareness that focuses on the version of you who took the straight direction, everything else collapses the other possibilities. So the possibility of you, the version of you who took the left direction, the possibility of the version of you who took the right direction now become a collapsed, unseen, potential version, still in existence, but no longer in view, no longer seen, no longer physically experienced. So that's really how it works. There is a quantum mechanics or quantum physics term called waveform collapse. All it is really is you focus on something and everything else around it collapses out of view because your focus only lights up the direction that you're focused on, which is awareness. All other possibilities collapse out of view. That's how you have a singular, successful life experience. You cannot be a billionaire version of you who is a billionaire by being the version of you who is broke, by also being the version of you who has $100, by also being the version of you who has, I don't know, maybe just $200,000. You can't be the version of you who's a billionaire by being any other version also. You must collapse those out of view in order to be the version of you that you most desire. Again, this comes down to really understanding what is going on, which is I am pure consciousness is percolating the third dimension and is dreaming within it. The third dimension is cubic matter, length, width, and height. Those are the constraints of the third dimension. It's made up of length, width, and height, and we experience within that. It's time and space. Those are the constraints. And we experience our experiences within those constraints. Hence, things have to make sense and play out in certain ways that are almost nonsensical, yet that's how it works. If, for example, consciousness was dreaming in the second dimension, and we were in the second dimension, things would be a lot different, because in the second dimension there is no height, there's only length and width. It would be flatland. How that would play out doesn't really matter. Similarly, if consciousness was only dreaming in the fourth dimension, and we were experiencing in the fourth dimension, it would play out differently because the rules of the fourth dimension are different. The dimensions are different. Perhaps it is, but we are not awake in the fourth dimension. We are not awake in the second dimension. We are awake in the third dimension. So this multidimensional being is dreaming and percolating through multiple dimensions and is aware and awake in the third dimension. Let's put it like that. Okay, so that's divergence. That's versions of you in the multiverse. That's why I like the idea of the multiverse, because it can paint a picture. It can give you a visual. It can give you a bigger grasp on the concept of what's going on. When you take a decision, that's one version of you. When you take an alternate decision, that's another version of you. Happening at the same time, simultaneously. It's bifurcating, it's splitting. splitting of universes. So when you take a right turn, you also take a straight direction, you also take a left turn, and you also take all the other alternate possibilities at the same time. However, your focus only lights up the physical experience of the right turn, therefore making you think it is one world, one possibility, one fate locked in and fixed and solid, wherein it's in factuality not. It's all of the experiences, all of the possibilities happening at the same time, but you cannot perceive them physically. You cannot perceive the you taking a straight direction, the version of you taking a left direction, and the version of you taking a right direction all at the same time. That's just not possible from a singular physical bodily perspective. That is why you only always just see one world. Because everything else collapses out of view. Doesn't mean it erases out of existence, it collapses out of view. You've lived like this all your life, just not knowing it until hell broke loose and circumstances came in your face regarding some decisions you took or didn't take. And then you panicked and you wanted to get out of it and change it. But that's really what's already been happening. You've been collapsing other possibilities in order to experience the one possibility of your choice. When it's been in your favor, you thought you were lucky. When it's not in your favor, you panic and you feel bad and you feel sad and you feel unsuccessful and unhappy. Not realizing how you can change it. Not by changing it, but by choosing a different version of you who is in that alternate decision or path or timeline. This should be enough food for thought for today. Please listen to it again if you have to. It's a very important part of understanding how this is all working. In terms of multiverse, I explain things in terms of multiverse because it's very easy to grasp and it's a very easy and reliable concept to work with. Whether you adapt it or not doesn't matter. If it works for you, this is for you. Again, this is divergence. This is splitting of worlds, many worlds theory. When one direction is chosen with intent and focus and awareness, the others must also equally be present. However, they collapse out of view, meaning they become unseen and remain unseen because we're having a singular personal experience. That is why they say it's your reality, it's your world, your choices. Doesn't mean the other choices are not playing out equally. They have to. That's the nature of infinity, and creation is finished. That's existence. Everything, everywhere, all at once, consciousness. Anyways, that's the multiversal view on divergence and versions of you. In my next video, I'll expand on this a little bit more and talk about versions of others. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.